Hello, everyone. No, this is not an April Fool's joke. It's me. I'm back. To episode 42 of the EarthtonesGirl Podcast. My name is Denise, and I'm coming to you today from my home in Yonkers, New York, where I am currently quarantined with my husband and children, as I know many of you are right now. We'll talk about that in just a second. You can find me on the internet as EarthtonesGirl. I am most active on Instagram. I'm also on Ravelry. The podcast has a Ravelry group, the EarthtonesGirl Podcast group, and also an email address, which is earthtonesgirl@gmail.com. I am also the host of the No Fear sock knitting class, which you can find right here on my YouTube channel. Hello, everyone. Hello. It's been a very, very long time, and I am so happy to be back here with you today. My last podcast episode was January 29th, and right after that was the beginning of that episode kicked off the No Fear sock knitting KAL or class, I'm sorry, and yeah, I've been busy recording and demoing and teaching and answering all of your questions and comments. So it's been a very busy 2 months, I guess you could say, very, very busy. And then all of a sudden, wow, the world sort of turned itself upside down and inside out. So yeah, of course I have my my notes here. I'm kind of glancing at them, but I'm just so happy to be back here with all of you to talk, to share some time, to share thoughts, to touch base with all of you. I can't wait to read the comments down below after this episode. And I missed being here. I missed sharing in this capacity. I've been sharing a lot of knowledge and information with you via the class, but that's different. That's instruction. It's a different format. I miss this format. I miss the closeness and sort of, I guess you could say, almost intimacy of talking to you all in this way. Yes, I know we're not all in the same room together, which we can't be at all, even if I wanted to be, but I just miss talking to all of you. So let's just get right into it, you guys. How is everybody doing? How are you doing? As I said, the world has turned itself upside down. We are all in the middle of, I think just about everybody on the planet, it feels like, is in quarantine in some way or another, or and stay at home, which is a slightly more friendly term. We are as well. I am coming to you from New York, just in case you missed that. If you're new to the podcast, if this is your first episode, welcome to my little space in the world, where I share my little earthy tone of voice. And if you are a returning viewer, I'm so happy that you're here and that you're back here with me to chat for a little bit. Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, actually this is the beginning of the third week, so 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, the week of the 10th, the week of March 10th, our school, my children's school, decided that it was time to close the school for an extended period of time. Well, to close the school, and that was supposed to be for a week. So our last day at school was the 13th, Friday the 13th, strangely enough that it was that day. And yeah, we were supposed to be home and out of school for about a week. Yeah, we all know how that turned out for many of us. We are now home until April. So our first day of staying at home was officially March 16th. And that was within days, that was quickly extended to April 20th. That is now sort of the official return date to school, but I have a feeling that is definitely going to be extended. No word yet, but anyway, so we are staying at home. We are staying at home, as many of you are. I'm calling it quarantine because it's reached a point where it's gone beyond just staying home to stay safe. We've quarantined ourselves here, and I know that's really hard for a lot of people. I'm not gonna lie, I am a very home-oriented person, so it doesn't feel like that much of a stretch for me. It doesn't feel like my life has been so greatly altered. We get up in the morning, we get ready for school, I drop the kids off, I come back here. I may run a few errands in the morning, cleaners, supermarket, etc., but then I always end up coming right back here, and I stay here until it's time to pick the kids up, and then I come back here again. So then on the weekends, my husband's home during the day, so we're here doing yard work, doing things at home, catching up on family time, laundry, etc. So normal day-to-day household chores. And then it's Monday and we're back to school again. So to be quarantined at home right now, I think the most difficult part is, and I don't know if you can hear them in the background, is being home with the kids. And I don't mean difficult for me as in, oh my gosh, they're making me crazy, I can't believe I'm stuck here. And I know that a lot of parents are feeling that way right now. It's more the fact that I now have to wear more hats. So we're homeschooling now, we're e-learning, and it's going really well, but it's really challenging because that's not what I do. There's a reason why we pay tuition to send our children to school. And so it's been a big learning curve for me. It's learning how to focus myself, to concentrate completely on them. Setting up a schedule so that we stay on track during the day. So there's been a lot of adjustments that we've had to make. They don't have the interaction now of friends. It's harder for the kids to focus. But we're getting it done. We are definitely getting it done. Tied into that is also me now becoming sort of entertainer and companion for them. Not so much, well, yes, for my daughter, but she has the internet. She's got FaceTime and different things like that. So she can still connect with her friends, which many of us are doing. I have a weekly Zoom meeting with 3 very, very close friends right now. And if it weren't for them, I mean, of course you get through, but they're making it so much easier to get through. And we meet on Saturday mornings, and Chris is now home. My husband's still going into work. For those of you that may not know, he is a chief on the fire department, and he is still going into work every day. So I'm not going to lie, that's been really stressful for our family as well. We have protocols in place when he comes home, and that sounds really fancy and official, but that's kind of what it is. When he comes home, we have a cleaning routine, we have a uniform routine, we have a whole decontamination routine before he comes into our home. We live in a split level ranch, and so he goes downstairs, he changes in our entryway. This is probably TMI, but I'm sharing. He changes in our entryway, goes downstairs to our other bathroom that we have down there that isn't really used right now, and cleans up down there, and then comes upstairs, and then he greets us and is with us. So, and we have to do that because he's out in the world and on calls and doing a lot of things, and he's in the office and he's in meetings and he is around people. Of course, he is practicing social distancing, as we all are, but many of us know that's, 6 feet is 6 feet, but this virus is so volatile, is so intense, is so strong, powerful, whatever word you want to use, so dangerous that sometimes that 6 feet is not even enough. So we are very, very careful when he comes home. So, and I know many of you have checked in to ask how we are doing, and we're honestly doing well. We really are. And I'm so, so grateful. I don't discuss, I said in the very beginning of my podcast, years ago now, that there are several topics, four in particular, that I never discuss, and that's religion, parenting, politics, and money. Off limits. But I will say in one sentence that our faith is really getting us through this in a really, really big way. So I'm very grateful to have that to rely on. So that is keeping our family together. It's, in a strange way, this time that we now all have on our hands, for some people it's driving them crazy and they're trying to figure out ways to fill their time. For others, this may sound so strange, but it's almost I'm not even going to use the term because it's going to sound weird, but this time is an opportunity to do things. Let's say that. And I'm using that time. I mean, our school day isn't that long with the kids because now there's just the two of them and me. So we don't have all the breaks, all the pauses and lunchtime and recess and, breaking for music and art class and all of that. So we get through our classwork, which we are assigned every day. We get through our classwork, I'd say almost in half the time that that the kids would on a normal day. So that is giving us a lot more time, on our hands, on my hands. And strangely enough, I do have more time, but I also have less time because the time that I would have when they're in school, I no longer have, which is one of the reasons why I haven't been able to podcast. And that's kind of a good segue to talk about the No Fear sock knitting class. Many of you reached out to me and asked, so I actually got a point blank message. So weren't you supposed to put out a 2 at a time video? Like, are you okay? And I know there was concern in it. I'm not upset by it at all. Not at all. I know there was concern in the comment, and the person said, just checking in to be sure you're okay. But having the kids at home makes creating those tutorial videos, the tutorial style videos, a lot harder. With a podcast like this, I can just kind of ramble on and pause. Although the two of them are playing so quietly right now. Thank you. Thank you, children. But doing a demonstration video and getting my head around teaching right now has been really challenging. I am coping with this quarantine. I am coping with the magnitude of what's happening in the world with, I have friends in the medical field and what's happening to them, to nurses that I know, to doctors that I know. It is a very difficult time. I am separated from my extended family. My mom and dad, who I used to see several times a week, nada now, nothing. And my sister, and it's so funny, my sister and I would see each other maybe once every week, every 2 weeks, because she worked in the city, and now we don't see each other at all, physically. Thank heaven for FaceTime and for Zoom, because that is now how I get in touch with them and see them just about every day. And I had an old cell phone. I upgraded my phone. The phone I'm recording on today is a new phone, and I had my old iPhone just sitting there. And I thought, I'm going to get for almost a year, we were talking about, we have to get mom a phone. We need to get mom an iPhone so she can FaceTime and, be able to text with her siblings and all of that, who are all over the world. And I finally did it. I said, oh my gosh, if we have ever needed this, if she's ever needed this, it's right now. So I wasn't able to physically go to Verizon. I called them up on the phone. Long story short, we are now able to FaceTime my mother, and she's become all about her phone. I have a phone. I have to go charge my phone. Did you text me? I sent you a text, but you haven't replied. Whoa. So we've created a little wee bit of a monster there, but it's great. It's awesome. And I get texts from my mom now, and I can chat with her, and I keep saying, this is what we wanted for you all along. And she resisted, and I was lazy about getting it done. So dare I say that there are good things coming out of this? I feel like this is bringing a lot of good out in a lot of people. It's bringing a lot of ugly out too. We won't talk about that, but it's bringing a lot of good out in people. My family and I, even though we are physically apart, and maybe many of you feel this too, we are physically apart from each other. I just have my core four, my fantastic four here in the house, but I've never felt closer to them. I've never felt so in touch with them, so close to them, tuned into them, facial expressions, shifts in tone and voice. We are really, really tuned in with each other, and it feels like a gift with all of this going on. So, yeah, I am grateful for that. But back to the class, I digressed. I haven't been able to get my head around teaching. And I started recording the 2 at a time video, and will continue. It will happen. But shifting gears to be knitting teacher is a little bit of a challenge for me. That said, I will be talking about something a little bit later in this episode about a KAL that I've decided to do. I've missed doing a KAL and having fun with everybody and knitting with everybody, and I feel like we need that right now. People have been knitting along with the No Fear sock knitting class and asking questions, and that has been a classroom setting, but just to knit for the love of knitting, to make socks for the love of sock knitting, I haven't done that in a long time. So I want to do that. I'm not gonna lie. It's sort of me needing that, and needing to just enjoy my knitting. And that's the other thing. To teach is and to do all of the prep work and all of the sorry, I'm just getting alerts on my phone. To do all of the prepping of the pieces that are needed for the classes, that's knitting for the class. That's knitting for the students that in the class, the people that are participating in the class. And right now, I also just want to knit for me. I need that. I need my needles going for my peace of mind, for my meditation. So that's another reason why the classes have sort of come to a halt. And I hope that you all can understand that. I know you're waiting on information, and it is coming, but my coping right now has been my knitting. And even though I'm not knitting as much as I would like to because of the new hats with teaching the kids, etc., still those few rows a day are for me. They're my few rows a day, and they're not for the class. They're not with yarn to demonstrate something in the white yarn or to teach a technique. I need color. I need to knit things for myself right now. So I hope that you all understand that. I'm sure that you do. And I thank you so much for your patience with all of this. Also, a little bit of shop news. There still is no shop yet. I had decided on a platform, and a friend of mine, my friend Carolyn, and I were going to get together to set it all up and get some basics in there for you, get the pattern in there for you. And yeah, lockdown. We weren't able to get together, and doing something that involved and that detailed, I don't want to say complicated, but that complicated, can't always be done that easily via Zoom. So via a Zoom call or a FaceTime or talking through it on the phone. So I am still going to attempt to do it on my own, but I have more time because we're home, but I have less time because there's other things are taking up my time. So again, asking for your patience with all of that. The yarn has been dyed for the kits. All of the fabric is now in my home, so it's just to find the time now to start making the kits. What I have been sewing, and there's been a little bit of sewing, are masks. So And we all know what those are for and who those are for. So that has sort of taken up some time on the sewing machine, which is why my machine is uncovered. So yeah. Anyway, all of that aside, that is 20 minutes of catching up. So I do have some actual FOs to share with you today. Yay! Like I said, I have been knitting. I had to even go back in my notes to see what I had shared with you. I think I had shared my Fiber Nymph socks and my Advent socks, so those were on an old episode. If I didn't share my Fiber Nymph socks, you guys, just because I couldn't find that in my notes. Anyway, let me know, and I'll show you those in the next episode. But my first FO is these I finished February, and here they are. Oh my gosh, these are simple, my usual go-to vanilla socks. This is sort of a cross between a little more than a shorty but a little less than a full-length sock, and my usual 64 stitches, contrasting cuff, heels, and toes. And this is my usual Malabrigo that I always go to, my Malabrigo sock in the natural. And this colorway I had in a mini skein set by Legacy Fiber Arts. I don't remember the name of this color, but I'll put it in the description box down below. And yeah, this gorgeous stripy yumminess, earthy yumminess here is Lady Grey by TinyHumanKnits. And this was actually, I got this pair of socks out of one 50-gram skein. Which is another reason why they're a little bit shorter. Took a little bit of planning and finagling to make sure that it worked. I got about to here on one sock and realized, oh, I don't know how much I'm going to have left. So I stopped and right at a stripe, a break in the stripes, and cast on this one. And I managed to get it to work. So I'm really, really happy with how these turned out. Love them. Love them, love them. And it's Lady Grey. I am a big fan of Earl Grey tea. So I have now discovered Lady Grey tea. I really didn't even know there was such a thing. So I've discovered Lady Grey tea, which I sipped a lot of while knitting these. So here they are. Love them. Thank you very much, Laura. If you're watching, your yarn is amazing. Her yarn is really, really amazing. So I've got those. Those are done. And I'm sort of doing this out of sequence here. I'm turning notes. In January, I finished this. Look at this, you guys. It is a cowl. As you can see, I'm wearing my hair out. This is another side effect of being quarantined, is experimenting. I have worn my hair out on occasion to different events, but never here on the podcast. So here it is in all its glory. Yeah, my hair, it's 100% natural, chemical free. I do not relax my hair anymore there's some of you that will understand what that means. I don't straighten my hair anymore. I don't take away all of these natural curls. This is what I was born with. And yeah, so, it's growing, it's getting longer. So I'm a little more comfortable wearing it out right now. Yeah, and like I said, it's a side effect of being in the house. I kind of experiment now and play with like, oh, do I like it this way? Do I like it this way? Do I like it this way? Like, how do I like it? And I keep playing with it a little. So I just decided to, you know what? Let it out. This is me, and here is my hair. So, okay, great. Pink elephant has been addressed. So here is my gorgeous cowl. Let's see if I pull this on. I don't know what I'm going to look like, but I will pull it on for you. So wait, let's talk about it for one more second. I did some ribbing here at the top. There's about, I don't know, maybe 10 to 12 rounds of ribbing, and at the bottom there's only maybe half of that, maybe 6 rounds at the bottom. I wanted the top, which is worn up here, to come in a little bit more and to be a little bit more snug, and then the bottom to flare a little bit. Now, what pattern did I use? This is based on the 21 slouch hat, 21 color slouch hat, or 21 slouch hat by Blue Sky Fibers. They have, and it's in their Woolstok yarn. I love this yarn so much. I started my weekender sweater in this yarn in this color, in this gray color. That's the color of the sweater. Either this color or this color. This one or this one is the sweater, the weekender sweater. And I was in Nitty City one day and realized that Blue Sky had these bundles of minis, and they were all of their neutral color minis. They had a blues collection and then a warm collection. It was all blues. These are the neutrals. And then they had the warm collection were all reds, oranges, golds. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Really beautiful. So, of course, I bought the earth tones, the neutrals here, and just followed the numbers for the hat without the shaping. That is really all I did. I knit it in the round. This was a couple of days worth of knitting. It's so warm. It's so cozy. We are now in spring. It is April 1st, as I said in the very beginning, but I'm going to try it on. Oop, did I get lipstick on it? Yeah, I did, but that's okay. And here's how it fits. So it tucks beautifully. I'm not going to pull it up over my mouth right now because I am wearing a lipstick and don't want to ruin it any more than I already did, but it tucks beautifully into my jacket. And it can pull up to here when let me show you. I'm going like that. So cozy. So this is my little cowl. I'm going to take this off because it's also really warm in here. But yeah, that's wait, let's fix the crown, so to speak. So yeah, guys, here's my cowl. Love it. Can't wait for next winter to wear this again. And yeah, what else do I have? Oh, I also knit my cousin. My family's from Barbados, and my cousin recently had lived in Barbados her whole life. She's traveled, she's been around the world, she's done things, but has never lived anywhere but Barbados. And she got married last summer, the end of last summer, and moved here with her new husband, and they live in Connecticut now. So she just went through her first winter here, and she met me at the Sheep and Wool Festival in last year, October, and we wandered around together. And, she's watched the podcast before, and she kind of knows a little bit about my world. But so we wandered around, and I said, okay, why don't you pick some yarn and I'll knit you a pair of socks? And my sister looked at me like, why did she get a pair of socks and not me? So yeah, that was a little family moment. But so she picked out a pair of socks, a skein of sock yarn. This absolutely beautiful, you know what? I do have a skein. Not a skein, but a little bit left. It's this color. And this is, can you see? Yeah, you can see this. This is the color. Isn't that beautiful? I think the camera should autofocus if it doesn't see my face. Right now I can't tell if it is or not. Oh well. Anyway, here it is. And this is by Into the World. It is their Meridian base. It's an MCN base, merino cashmere nylon. And this colorway is called the Cat's Pajamas. So I knit a pair of socks for her. I'll put a picture in. I've already gifted them, so I don't have them physically here to show you. But there's a sock challenge going on right now. It's by Julianne Knitter on Instagram, and the name of the challenge is the Sock Challenge 2020. And it's basically, she did it a week ago, maybe almost 2 weeks. This coming Saturday will be 2 weeks ago. And the challenge is to knit a full adult pair of socks in a week. And I said, you know what? Ding, ding, ding. I'm going to make these for her. And the quarantine, we're already in the middle of the quarantine. And I said, you know what? She is away from her family, away from her parents, away from her brother. We have a huge portion or a lot of members of our extended family that live in Barbados, and she's away from all of them. And I wanted her to have something just warm and cozy for her that would feel like a hug, because I can't hug her right now. So I knit her a pair of socks and I popped them in the mail. Whoo! You know I'm a crier, y'all. Can't help it. But Yeah, hi Nix, if you're watching, and put those in the mail for her. And I did those socks for her in the challenge. I said, you know what? I want to knit these for her. I'm going to knit these in a week. And boom, I just made it. I came in at like midnight at the end of that first week, but I did it. I got them done. And those were the socks that I was using. I decided, let me multitask, multi-purpose. I hate the expression kill two birds with one stone. I think it's so awful. But so I decided to multi-purpose the socks, and I was going to use those for the 2 at a time demo. And I got a good portion of the demo done, and then sort of just took off knitting them. And I just needed to knit them for her. And I've always said that my socks are like my diary. I actually did an entire episode called The Sock Diary. And there was so much that went into that pair of socks for her. A lot of emotion went into that pair of socks for her. And I just didn't finish the tutorial. It will be finished, but like I said, a lot of it has been recorded already. And I do have another ball of this, so I'm actually going to make a pair of shorties, which will finish up the tutorial out of what's left over. So yeah, that's that. So that was another pair, another finished object. And whips, I currently have I have a half object, a half finished object. What is this on me? I think a little fluff from the cowl. So I do have a hoe, as they say. I don't like that expression either. A half finished object, and voila, here it is. Here it is. Oh, look at this, you guys. Let's just take a minute to take this in. Isn't that beautiful? It is so bright and colorful and cheerful and uplifting. I love this colorway so much. And as soon as I finished the socks for my friend, I jumped into these because I needed color and I needed brightness and I needed comfort knitting. So this one I did in a couple of days. As you can see, much, much taller. This is a full-size sock, and I already have the second sock going. So here it is. It's already on needles. It's going. So I'm hoping to finish this one in maybe, I don't know, next day or so. I posted on my Instagram that I was hoping to have gotten it done last week, but I'm going with the flow. Time being what it is right now, I do what I can when I can. But I do want to finish these because of the KAL that's coming up, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, oops. Wait, I closed my notebook here on my notes. Hang on one second, you guys. Okay. So, so what is this? I keep rambling. This is Poolside is the name of the colorway. And this is by Scrumptious Purl. And it comes in what's called a gobstopper, which looks like this. Let me make it look a little neater here for you. It looks like this. So as I'm knitting along, I am right up to, I just started the purple stripe right here. And this is how it comes. So it's one big ball that looks like this. Isn't that beautiful? It's so beautiful. Just looking at the ball is so cheerful. I mean, look at that. Let's just look at it for a minute. Isn't that pretty? Doesn't that make you happy? So this is Poolside. And yeah. So here's what I'm knitting. And I had started this before when things were starting to close and get quiet, like right before the complete lockdown. And I was knitting it during my daughter's swim practice. So I really was knitting this Poolside. I really was. But yeah, so I am going to finish this one, hopefully. Heel's already done. Fish lips kiss heel again. Yeah, it's all done. So just got to finish stuff to finish the foot and the toe. So that is another work in progress. Of course, I've got lots and lots of others that I'm hoping to get a little bit of time on in the future. So yeah, let's talk about the KAL, you guys. So KAL news. There are so many KALs going on right now. so many, for obvious reasons. I think there is such a need to connect, such a need to stress knit. A lot of people are stress knitting right now. New projects are being cast on. I know there's a shawl that so many people are knitting right now called the Vertices United shawl, and that's by I don't even have a picture to show you. I'm really not a shawl girl, but it's by Stephen West, and I know I have a couple of friends that have started that, and it's pretty much just a garter stitch shawl, and you change colors. I think there's 5 or 6 colors. It's making people happy. I've got my sock knitting. So I wanted to start a sock cal. It's time. And it's going to be called, I was trying to figure this out, but let me give you a little bit background before I get into that. So as you know, I work really closely with Legacy Fiber Arts, and I did my No Fear Shorty Socks pattern was done in their yarn in the T for 2 colorway. And, excuse me. And I also partnered up with them to do the colorway for the kits. And in the meantime, Sue Stokes, who is the main dyer, Chelsea dyed yarn as well, but she has now, since January, had a second child, and she now has 2 babies under 3. So she has a 2-year-old and a 2-month-old. So her dying days have been put on the back burner for now, but they are still running the company together and doing very well. And she just put out a new packet of minis. Oh my gosh, they're so delicious. Oh my gosh, I'm waiting for my set to arrive in the mail. She put them in the mail for me yesterday. And one of the shorty sets is called the Earthtones Shortys. And they're stunning. I will put a picture of them here for you. Oh my gosh, aren't those colors beautiful? They are so beautiful and rich, and they look like my logo, which is amazing. Sort of the earth tones in the logo is all brown, and then the girl is in pink, and I love them. Sue says that the what looks like pink in the mini set is more of a peach color, and the lightest of the colors is more of a tan. Doesn't matter. I can't wait to see them. So I've decided, you know what? These need to be knit up into socks ASAP. I had also promised to do a color class for you all, just as a bonus class. So basically the No Fear Shorty sock class right now is complete. So you have from start to finish, how to pick your yarn, how to pick your needles. You have the cuff, the heel, the cuff, the leg, the heel, the foot, the toe. You have everything. And of course my phone's ringing, so hold on one second. I will be right back. So sorry, you guys. Recording at home. It is what it is. So yes, so we were talking about the shorties. So I decided we were going to do, the color changing class. I was going to do a class on color. Okay, I'm back. I remember what I was like Denise, catch up. So you have your basic top down sock class. It's all done. It is based on the pattern on the No Fear Shorty socks pattern. And you've got all of the steps, including the Kitchener stitch. That was a separate video. The Kitchener stitch is how to close your toe, how to weave in the ends for the toe. So you have all of your tools right now to knit a pair of socks. You can follow the pattern that I wrote. There, you can take all of that information and apply it to other sock patterns, but you now have those tools. That class provided the tools for new sock knitters to knit a pair of socks. But what I also said I was going to do is include other videos, other casting on videos, the 2 at a time, and I wanted to do a color changing class. And right now, after seeing these minis, and it's spring and things are so bright, it is such a beautiful day today. We had rain for about the last 2 or 3 days, and the month April has started off with the most glorious blue sky sunshine day, and I just want to knit scrappy socks right now, guys, and I want to talk color, and how to change color. So I'm sort of right now doing what I want to do and having fun with that. So hope that works for everybody. So yes, we are going to have a Scrappy Shorties KAL. It's going to be Scrappy Shorties KAL. I am so excited about this. It doesn't have to be, the theme of the KAL are going to be Scrappy Shorties. We are using the No Fear Shorty socks pattern. I had tossed around the idea of writing another pattern for with the color changing notes, but I'm just going to do a class the way I've been doing, and there will be notes in the description box down below. So there will be more patterns coming. Just as a sneak peek, I've talked to a new tech editor. So yeah, there's some things going on. I felt like the first pattern came together, and everything happens the way it's supposed to, whether we believe that or not, but it happens the way it's supposed to. And that pattern came together, and I do have a friend that does tech editing, and she helped me through, but it's not something that she does a lot of right now. And she's up in Canada, and I was so grateful to her, Ramona, if you're watching, thank you again so much for all of your help. And she looked it over, and a few other friends looked it over, but it wasn't like officially tech edited. So I decided, it's time to sort of step things up a little bit, because I do have another pattern in mind to come out. Hopefully, I don't want to put a timeline on it, but it's in the works right now. So yeah. So anyway, I was going to do a quick pattern on changing color, but you don't really need a pattern on that. I think honestly, if I just use what we have and explain how to change color within that, how to do a contrasting cuff, heel, and toe, and then how to change colors when you're using mini skeins, that pattern will be your foundation. All of the information will be in the tutorial video. Anything that can be verbally or written explained will be down below for you in the description box. And I'm so excited to do this. I really am. Between this stunning shorty socks. Now Sue has done the Earthtones Shortys. She also did another gorgeous set called April Showers, which is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. April Showers is the other, and that is part one of another set that's coming next month, but we won't talk about that yet. Wink, wink. So yes, Scrappy Shorties KAL, that is going to start on April 10th. Today's April 1st. It will start on April 10th. So if you would like to order mini skeins from Legacy Fiber Arts, there will be time. I know they are incredible. Sue is incredible with mailing things out very quickly. She gets your order and boom, it's usually out the next day as long as she has the yarn in stock. And I know she has these minis in stock right now. So if you'd like to purchase those, please do. Link to everything will be in the description box down below. And this is also an opportunity to stash dive. We all have minis. We all have leftover sock yarn, or many of us do. If you're newer to sock yarn, I'm sure that is starting to build for you now. You could even do, if you have a DK weight, DK minis laying around, you can do that. But you can stash dive. Let's use our leftovers. Let's use mini skeins, all those advent calendars, advent mini skeins that we all have tucked away right now, and we're not quite sure what to do with if we're not into blankets. You can use those. So I'm going to provide you with the tools to change color, to avoid jogs where you see like a little change in the round when you're knitting, how to weave in your ends as you go so you don't have to stop and weave in ends at the end. All you have to do when you're finished is turn your sock inside out and clip all the ends off. It's brilliant. So I will show you that. I did demonstrate that once before in an old episode, but I think it would be much more organized and concise if it's in a separate tutorial class. So all of those good things. I'm so excited. And also how to count your rounds when you're changing color. Because if you want to have 10 rounds, sometimes people end up with either 9 or 11. And I will explain why in the tutorial. So yes, Scrappy Shorties KAL, starting April 10th. It will run until May 31st. I thought that was the perfect spring thing for us to do. So I'm really excited about that. I will announce the first prize winner on May 1st. There will be 2 sets of prizes that will be sent out. The first will be announced on May 1st and the second on June 1st. And we talked about the tutorial, that it's going to be based on the No Fear Shorty sock pattern. Yes, and rules. There really are no rules. If you have a pair of Scrappy socks that you've already started, and yes, we're basing this on the Shorty No Fear Shorty sock pattern, so they're going to be Scrappy Shorties, but which I'm also hoping to make a few pairs of to give away as gifts for Christmas. Get your holiday knitting done now while we all have this time. But there really are no rules. You can, if you've already started, as long as the majority of the sock is not done yet, you can feel free to use those for the KAL. There are also a lot of other sock KALs going on, so you can double dip into another. You can poly dip, as I've heard people say. So you can use whatever you're doing for this KAL, you can apply to other KALs. As many as you find KALs out there that it qualifies for, go for it. Just to give you a little bit of a heads up, I know of 3 KALs aside from this, my new one, that you can use this for. There is the Get Scrappy 2020 KAL, and that's being hosted right now by Amy, who is Exterminate on Instagram. And she has divided, it's a year-long KAL that she's divided into 4 parts. And the second quarter, which is a nature theme, has started today. And each one runs then for 3 months. So you've got plenty of time. You can join in on that. And there's also the Sock Challenge 2020, and that is the knit a pair in 1 week. So if you'd like to make your socks a little bit longer, go for it. Basically all you're doing, and I talked about this in my class, I will tell you exactly which one. You know what? I'll leave it down below for you. That's in my notes on the No Fear class or in another book. But there is a class on customizing the leg of the class and the length of the leg. In the pattern, it's only 15 rounds, but you can absolutely extend that. Just keep knitting. There we go. So if you'd like to make a longer pair, feel free to do that. And that, she just finished the challenge, which is where I made the blue socks. But the Sock Challenge 2020, the host name is Julianne, and she is Julianne Knitter on Instagram, and she has a round 2 of this starting on April 5th. So starting this Sunday is round 2. So if you have time to order yarn, order it now. If you're a super speedy knitter, you've got plenty of time to start Monday or Tuesday, but it starts on Sunday and runs through to midnight the following Saturday. I don't have the date in front of me, but I'll put that information down below. And there's also the Stash Dive 2020 KAL that is also going on, and that is hosted by Marce, who is Hey Brown Berry, and it's co-hosted with Natalie, who's Remembrances Pottery, and that is exactly what it sounds like. It is a Stash Dive challenge, so you don't have to purchase any yarn for this. Go into your stash, pull out those Advent minis, pull out leftover sock yarn scraps, any mini sets that you have laying around, pull those out and use those to make your socks. So those are 3 other KALs that you can join in on. Yeah, and I will provide information on those down below for you as well. So let's knit socks together, you guys. Let's do this together. Let's share our progress with each other, share it with me, share it with the world. Let people see these beautiful, scrappy, colorful socks. They will bring joy to people just to look at, even if they don't know how to knit socks. It doesn't matter. I just want to knit with you all. I really want to knit with you all. Not in a teaching capacity, just in a fellow knitter capacity. That is really what I would love to do right now, and what I know my soul needs to get through all of this, to get through this world that we're in right now. So there will be a thread that will open up. I'm going to try to open that up in the next day or 2 for a chatter thread, so you can start talking about your minis, what you want to use and what patterns you're going to be using, etc. If you choose to use a different pattern, which is also fine. Yes, so there will be a chatter thread opening up. Today's the 1st, so that will be open no later than the 2nd, which is tomorrow. And then there will also be an FO thread that I will open on the 10th. So for everyone, obviously you can start posting your finished socks in that thread, in the FO thread, the finished object thread, and I will be drawing the winners from that thread. Okay? So, yeah, that's basically what I wanted to share with you all today. I'm so happy to be back. This feels so good, you guys, to just sort of sit here, and I know I may ramble a little bit, but it's really cathartic for me. I've missed you all. I'm happy to be here with you all. I know many of you are home alone. Many of you are feeling isolated. Many of you are just downright scared to death right now. This is not a good... It's not what I want to say. It's a very scary time. It's a very, very scary time. And how we respond to this time is important. Yeah. Our responses to things are really, really important, you guys. And to maintain our mental health, to maintain our physical health, we have to find ways to soothe ourselves. We have to find ways to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of ourselves. For those of us that are home with families, we have to find ways to nurture ourselves so that we can nurture our families. And that for me is my knitting. I was hoping to work on some more slightly more complicated patterns, but I don't have the headspace for that. I just need the vanilla socks, and let's do it together. I want to be here to support you in your making, to share your joy, share your fears, share your tears if there are any. Yeah, I have some. I have them. I do have them, you guys. I have cried over this. I have been upset over this. I've even had a panic attack or two over this. That's something else I don't really talk about very often, and maybe I will later. But yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, but I am very, very grateful to my making, to the stitches. I'm grateful to the yarn. I'm grateful to have it in my hands. I'm grateful for the calm that it brings me. So I hope this KAL is a fun thing for us to do together. I am so looking forward to it. And yeah, let's find some joy and knit together while we wait this out. Okay, everyone? That's it. I think I'm done. I will see you all again soon for another regular podcast episode and for the color changing tutorial. It feels so good to have regained my focus, at least for today, and to be here with you all. So thank you for spending some time with me, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye, everybody. See you soon.